Craving authentic Mexican flavor? Come to El Nopal, where every bite tastes like home. From sizzling fajitas and street-style tacos to delectable desserts, El Nopal brings the true taste of Mexico to your table. And now, we can bring the fiesta to you. Book the El Nopal food truck for birthdays, weddings, or any special event. And let us serve up tradition on wheels. El Nopal, authentic Mexican food made with love.
At GRM Networks, connection means more than just phone and internet. It means community. As a member-owned cooperative, GRM Networks delivers reliable, advanced communications technology while putting customers first. From fast, dependable internet to quality phone services, you can count on a network built for you. And because GRM is locally invested, every connection helps strengthen the communities we call home. GRM Networks, connecting people, supporting communities, and delivering service you can trust.
All right, CF Rainey here, Bulldog Sports TV, Sports Central, brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital. Another one of our interviews, this time with Coach Kale Watson, South Harrison varsity girls coach. And Coach, we've started postseason this week. You ended up with the 1 seed, so you get a bye. Then you go down to Lathrop because the boys are being hosted at South Harrison, but the girls are down in Lathrop. You go down, you play Lathrop on their home court. It's a team that I think you won by 6 earlier in the season. They have a really good player in Castlavoid who scored her 1,500th point that evening. But you go down and just have a big game and get a huge win to get yourself to the championship game.
Yeah, it's obviously always nice to get the 1 seed. That's kind of credit to all your hard work during the year, and obviously that gives you some benefit of getting that first round bye, which is big. Less prep work, less having to scout someone, and then one less game for your girls. The nice thing about that this year, or the so nice thing, was that we had to play Lathrop on their home court. Like you said, the first time I think we beat them by 6, so we knew it was going to be a dogfight. I thought we did a really good job of adjusting our game plan. As a coach, you can adjust it, but it comes down to whether your team can execute it. And I thought our girls did a fantastic job of executing the game plan in the full court, trying to take cast and avoid off her spots, trying to put the ball in other people's hands that we felt a little more comfortable with having it. And I just felt like from start to finish, everyone did their job. I thought everyone did a really good job defensively. We were very connected. We eliminated a lot of second chance opportunities for them, which is big for them offensively. And I thought we handled some of their defensive adjustments, did a really good job. We were patient, got good looks, got out in transition. And it helps when you had a huge night from Lexi Hunter. I think she went off for 24. And a lot of that was started off with defense, just creating offense for her. And, she did a good job of getting downhill and getting others involved. So yeah, it's always nice to get that kind of rolling in the first game. I thought we went into halftime with a really good lead, which is sometimes you get comfortable, but I thought our girls did a good job of not getting too comfortable and obviously coming out of that game with a win.
Yeah, and so you mentioned with Castlavoid, great player, and I was saying on the air, on the stream, that it feels like she's been there forever. She's still just a junior, but when you have a player like that, and Hannah Carter was really, I think, like that for South Harrison, that is a leading scorer or one of their top scorers as a freshman. It seems like they're there for a long time. And to get, she got her 1,500 points. So, I mean, she's a good player. You guys limited her. And I told you after the game, I thought your game plan on her was interesting because sometimes maybe, hey, we'll just completely deny her. We'll just totally take her out. You allowed her catches, but you were kind of strategic in when you brought that double team to try to get the ball out of her hands. Maybe just talk about that approach with a player of that caliber.
Yeah, I thought the first time around we pressed them early, but we didn't really get much out of it. And then we kind of had to sink into the half court. And a player like her, if she can come down and operate, she's strong, she's physical, she's athletic. I mean, to score 1,500 points, you've got to be a good basketball player, and obviously she is. So our adjustment the second time around was, we wanted to at times deny her the catch, or at least make her feel like she was getting denied to catch it 92 feet from the hoop. We felt like if we brought traps to her too soon, we were probably going to give her the chance to get around us. So we were trying to bring them more on a clear out situation where she was going to be on 1 or 2 speed dribbles and we were going to bring it then. Sometimes we bring it on the back of her head. We were just trying to put her into positions where that trap was coming randomly for her, or it felt random for her. And then I thought that would allow us to get into good rotations on the backside, and we took away her ability to kind of throw that cross quarter, which she's really good at. And then I think anytime you're doing that with someone like her, both going to someone else, you'd like to think that that probably puts their offense in a spot where they're not used to getting into the flow of their offense. So that was our defensive game plan from the get-go, and that allowed us, when we kind of built the lead we liked, we could kind of sit in the half court and we weren't going to get into foul trouble that way. So yeah, credit to the girls. They executed the game plan to a T. I mean, there wasn't much worry on my behalf. Once I watched the game get going, you could tell that our girls were buying into what we were trying to do, and they did a really good job of it.
Well, and also I thought it wasn't just stopping her with some of the things you did or getting the ball out of her hands. You rotated players on her, started with Lexi Hunter, Piper Malloy, LS, just a few others. I thought Piper Malloy really came off the bench, gave you a spark offensively, but defensively she was physical with Castavoid. And you could see, I don't know what her free throw numbers are, but you could see you were wearing her out because she left a number of free throws on the front of the rim there in that second half. So it wasn't just stopping her, it was making her play through all that, really almost 90 feet from baseline to baseline.
Yeah, like you said, can't say enough about Piper Malloy's ability to guard her. We knew that was going to be something in the toolbox because Piper had kind of done that the game before. We just hadn't put Piper on her in the full court. And like you said, Piper's pretty. I mean, she's kind of like a Swiss Army knife, man. She can defend you in the full court. She's physical. She does a really good job of getting her chest on you and not fouling you. And that's what I thought was really good with Castavoid. Piper just didn't let her get to a spot. And when she got to a spot that Castavoid wanted it, Piper walled her up, put her chest on her, and made her shoot over the top of her or shoot through someone else coming up to help her. And it's nice to have that as a coach. If you can give someone a rest and you can put someone else on her, and like you said, it gives Castavoid a different look. Sometimes you're putting speed. With Estes, we were putting some length on her, and then with Piper, we were putting some physicality on her. And so that was nice to have. And again, it's just awesome to see our girls, everyone being okay with that situation and being okay with the adjustments we were going to make, and then executing them from there.
Okay, so you get that win, 58-32. Now you're going to see Lawson in the championship game tonight, down in Lathrop. We'll be on Mission TV. Bulldog Sports TV will be on Mission TV with it. But they get the upset over Carrollton, 51-45. So maybe talk about this matchup with Lawson because they don't necessarily have like a single player like Casnavoy that you're going to see. They're similar, and I was talking to my daughter Lucy last night. Kind of similar just in makeup to Plattsburgh, a team you played last game in regular season. And she said actually Abby Owens and her were talking, and they both kind of shared that with their speed and size that they're kind of a similar team. So a different look, and maybe talk about Lawson, what you expect to see tonight.
Yeah, first things first, Coach Glenn at Lawson. I mean, she's class act. We played them last year. They're going to be prepared. You're not going to come up against a Coach Glenn team that's not prepared, and they're going to try to take away some of the things we want. And they've got a style of play. They're going to press you for 4 quarters, 92 feet. They're going to make you play through their defense. They're going to get after you in the full court, but also in the half court. They probably transition as well as any team I've ever seen, at least through this year. They get out and run, and they know what they want. They want quick transition threes. They want to play as fast as possible, and if they can put the possessions up in the 60s, that's going to probably benefit well for them. For us, it's going to come down to taking care of the basketball. We can't give them points off turnovers. We're going to have to attack that pressure. I think sometimes when you see pressure, people just want to break it and then just settle in. We want to attack it as much as we can and try to score on it. But that comes down to taking care of the ball. And then defensively, we've got to do a really good job. They run their half court stuff really well, a lot of ball screens. They set up some weak side double stagger downs. So we've got to fight through that. We've got to communicate at a high level. When you come to these games, like we've been talking about, I think the last week or two, you got to execute your stuff. You got to win the 50-50 battles. You've got to eliminate second chance opportunities, and you got to keep the turnover margin down. So a lot of those games are won on those small margins that don't always go on a stat book. So we're going to have to be locked in tonight and, kind of be ready for a 4-quarter battle because I guarantee you that's what it's going to be.
Well, and it becomes one of those. You mentioned Lexi Hunter with her big night on the scoreboard the other night with 24. Your team and you and I have talked about it. You guys can have other people step up to score, and I think that's been the ability for South Harrison. Not that Lathrop doesn't have other girls; they obviously have some size inside. But when people are playing Lathrop, you single out J.C. Casnavoy. We're like, we have to stop her. Addie Hinkie in the past at Princeton. Obviously, teams are thinking about Lexi Hunter. They see her points on the board. But you guys have shown in just different players with Abby or Briley, Bailey, Ambry, Katea, just people coming off the bench, Piper off the bench, the ability to score not only through different people but from different spots on the floor, and I think that makes it difficult for you guys to defend.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. You could get Lathrop's film, you're going to see Lexi. You could get Albany's film, you're going to see Bailey. You could get Plattsburgh film, you're going to see Ambry and Briley step up. You could get the mid buck game and see Piper. I mean, in Katea, and I could go on and on. That's the nice thing about this crew is if they try to take something away, I think we're always going to have another option that we can go to. We've got enough scorers on the court that you're gonna have to kind of pick your poison. And when you do, I would like to think that someone else is going to be there to step up. Now, I think the biggest thing for us is those players have got to be locked in defensively. To win games in the postseason, you've got to put the ball through the hoop, but you've definitely got to play good defense. And that's probably where the game's going to be won for us, is making sure defensively we're really connected, so that we can kind of isolate what they want and take away some of the advantages that they feel like they've got.
All right. Well, Coach, good luck tonight. Should be a good one. I mean, just looking at the records, similar records. They've got a few more wins. I'm looking at points per game. You guys are almost identical. Points allowed, almost identical. A little different style. Obviously, I think tempo should match up, but should be a good game tonight, and we'll be on Misha TV with it. So good luck, and we appreciate your time.
Thanks, CF.